What's a new trend that's doing a lot damage that people don't realize? Veneers from unlicensed veneer techs. Just saw a video summarizing this. People are allowing someone with 2 days of training to file down their teeth, which may or may not already have cavities, and attach cheap veneers. They will need to be reapplied every few years for life because their teeth are so ground down that going without the veneers looks horrible. This is craziness. I wish people could see how lucky they are to have healthy teeth in the first place, even if they aren't aesthetically perfect. Won't they eventually get tooth decay from this? Buccal fat removal. Gonna look like the crypt keeper at 40 LMBFO, laughing my buccal fat off. The most glaring example of how getting famous when young and beautiful must totally fuck up your mental health. All these gorgeous young women ruining their faces because they somehow got convinced their cheeks were too chubby or that they needed higher cheekbones. I wonder if they can tell they look worse now or if they're just too deep in the delusion or whatever. Using therapy speak to justify toxic behavior. It's making it difficult for people with actual issues being taken seriously when someone who has likely never seen a therapist uses medical terminology to explain why they're allowed to be assholes in public. My favorite is a tweet saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know you had trauma. You can go back to being mean to me." Subscription models for every service. Gone are the days of curated collections. Now you own nothing. I hate the cultural flattening the internet has caused. Regional accents are disappearing. Every woman has the same lips, nose, brows, and body. Subcultures add disintegrating. The same thing happened with the birth of radio. There were huge regional differences in speaking styles. It proved helpful in the long run as people from different places grew to understand each other better. Posting everything on social media. I used to post a lot on stories on Instagram, WhatsApp. At some point, I started to think that no one actually cares what I post, and it's pointless for me, so I stopped. I was checking who saw those posts, got annoyed when someone I didn't like watched my stories. Now, I don't post on social media anymore, and I'm happier. Hauls of just about anything. It's incredibly wasteful, and I imagine most influencers who do so can't use all of that product before they're pressured to make more content. Plus, it encourages normal people to do the same, leading to lots of plastic waste and demand for cheap, unethical labor. I listened to a podcast about this a few years ago that connected the dots I never thought about. One of the main drivers of fast fashion for young people is social media. Many of them are posting regularly to show off their outfits. So those outfits need to be different. So they aren't as interested in well-made clothing that lasts, because they aren't interested in reposting the same outfit. So they'd rather buy an $8 dress that will disintegrate in the washing machine because they only need it for one post. Next paycheck, they can buy more cheap clothes online. Celebrity tequila. More specifically, the process of hydrolysis that use young agave plants instead of mature agave plants, creating a neutral alcohol that is then flavored with additives. This brings the price of agave up, and customers are given an artificial tequila rather than traditionally made tequila that uses agave plants matured for 7 years. That's rather highly specific, and yet also interesting. Did not know that was a thing. Posting children and all their personal, emotional, and vulnerable moments. People are literally pimping children for karma and followers. Crying children, dying children, naughty children, confused children, humiliated children. I'm waiting for some of these kids to grow up and sue the shit out of their parents. Instagram tourism. We're trashing beautiful places because we gotta have that photo. Japan is closing off certain areas to tourists in Kyoto due to tourists touching geishas, and even planning to build a wall to block the view of Mount Fuji at a convenience store, very popular photo angle, due to littering. Steroid use is becoming increasingly popular among teenage boys and young men. Social media is feeding them metric tons of fit influencers that lie about their steroid use, feeding into the "why can't I be like them" pipeline that ends up with them hopping on. Hell, a few months into weightlifting myself, and I was literally getting ads for steroids right on Reddit. Some years from now, I guarantee we'll start seeing these boys grow with serious health issues from using steroids at a very vulnerable age.